I'm now pleased to introduce you to today's speaker, Anna Gopian. Anna is a passionate advocate and presenter. She earned a BA in social science, is a recovery support specialist, and a certified progressive recovery coach. She has taken her personal lived experiences and turned them into tools to educate and provide hope. While Anna might have had a late start in life with pursuing her education and starting 2 companies, she has superseded and risen above any of the obstacles that were on her path. Anna is going to have her video camera off for some of the presentation, but we'll turn it on throughout to share different materials with you. Anna is a great friend of the consortium, so I'm really happy to have her with us tonight, and I will turn it over to her now.
Wonderful. I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm going to check out as this presentation goes on, and then at the end I'm going to connect with you all and give you the opportunity to see some of the Paraphernalia project, the parts and pieces. It's pretty extensive. And I set my office up a little, tried to stage it the best I could to give you some of the important features and then share some of the ways that you can connect with me at a later date. So Tri-Circle Incorporated is one of 2 organizations that I started, and I started them, this one in particular, because of the hope and support groups that I was participating in, offering parents, guardians, and loved ones a safe place, confident that we were able to, with 2 paid professionals, provide an environment that was conducive for sharing really tough information about loved ones that are challenging with a substance use disorder, or ask questions that they might not otherwise want to ask to the family members, co-workers, or someone, neighbors in the community. But the Paraphernalia project, we say in tagline, it's substance use paraphernalia education to reduce risk. And then when we promote it, and this screen is usually up, we ask that it's not viewed by anyone underage or by minors, and then that your cell phones are off and that you don't take any pictures. We greatly appreciate that as we're in the process of being trademarked and marketed. Well, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share with the Connecticut Women's Consortium and DCF on this project. So we're going to be covering, over the time that we're together, this project, and the Paraphernalia project took 7 years, and it's intended to be displayed and interactive. So this is going to be my first time to bringing it to Zoom. Well, second time, but a more constructed time to be bringing it to y'all on Zoom. So the residuals and paraphernalia are possibly found surrounding the disease of addiction can vary from substance to substance. And I want to strongly stress that paraphernalia to me and this project is about anything used to produce, consume, or conceal an illegal substance or illegal substance used illegally. And it's really, drugs might be talked about, but the intention is not about drugs, but to show you some of the things that would red flag and maybe bring light to the fact that something needs to be discussed. And this is how we're going to go through the slides. I pulled out some of the slides specific for this presentation, being that it's 45 minutes, and we're up to 3 hours this can take if it was something that we built to do that. Different parts of the Paraphernalia project I'm going to show you at the end that are available. And then Tri-Circle Inc., the nonprofit, which provides hope and support groups, meetings for parents, guardians, and loved ones that have someone in their life affected. I'm going to share some of that information because it's a great place to know of, to be able to take some of your questions or concerns you might have, especially after viewing something like this. So we're going to start with heroin, unfortunately, one of the more talked about things on the street, but this day and age, probably harder to find than what we all are hearing about is fentanyl. So this first picture is showing you tinfoil, and it's going to bring it closer. A lot of the times, this can be called chasing the dragon or chasing the high that you actually get the first time that you use. And this is a way that you're able to actually smoke a pill or a dab of heroin or other powdered substances. And this piece of residual would have burn marks on the back and then the residual on the front. You can find it crumpled up, and it could be in various places. In a room or something. So remember, we're looking to unfold or find things in pockets and coats underneath the bed, things like that, in your desk. Going into this picture, we're looking at the small rubber bands and some of the stamped wrappers. In this case, these are from heroin. One bag is one bag, but 10 bags is considered a bundle. So what you see there wrapped with an elastic is considered a bundle. And then the small packages individually are what I said was a bag. Now, the markers on these bags are important when someone possibly overdoses, or they're found when they're trying to track overdoses, or some very strong tainted substances that they're trying to get in front of. So the police, DEA, things like that utilize the different markings on the bags to track incidences. But the cooker, the little end of the can, that might be one of the cookers that you would see. Someone would need to dissolve and dilute the medication, alcohol medication, a drug, to be able to draw up in a syringe if it was being used intravenously. And in here, you know, a lot of people don't get to see the processes that happen in regards to an IV use. And I do have, for the end of this presentation, some glass top boxes, so you'll be able to see some more of it. But here, just looking at the residual and paraphernalia, it would be the cap that you see, the orange cap. There's also a clear one there. Those being found on the floor would be cause for a conversation. They're not electrical connectors. And then the pusher, which came out of the syringe itself, sometimes used to help mix up something in the device or the cooker. The device also, in this case, is a spoon, but it can be many different things. In this photo, you're seeing just some pieces of cotton. The ones more to the forward, they're gray. They might actually be pieces of lint from your pocket if someone is in the need, but the ends of Q-tips you might find without the cotton on them, which would be a red flag. Also, sometimes, when more desperate though, the filter of a cigarette would get used. And I say more desperate because fiberglass is in the filter of a cigarette. And if you were utilizing that at any point to, you know, be as a filter, or any of it, just to be able to get it close to a bloodstream, or the opportunity of that would be even more dangerous. So I'm going to try to end these all with a full screen so you can see it in its entirety. Again, there will be some kind of a flame that would be necessary when utilizing a spoon or the cooker, like the bottom of the can. Sometimes when we're working with harm reduction, there's other small, they look like the inside of that candle, the small metal cup that could be used. Some people, it's unfortunately, but very creative when using things to get what they need into the state that it has to be to use it. And here we have tourniquets, just a few different things that would, you know, flag some concern. The sneaker, for one, with no shoelace in it, would, you know, be a circumstance necessary for that being used as a tourniquet, an actual rubber tourniquet, or when you find a belt that's in this position, meaning threaded through the buckle, that would be a heightened level of concern. And if you were to look closer, which I will be doing for you, you would see that there would be bite marks, and usually saliva is used over and over again. So if the belt itself was found in the buckle, that would mean it was released at some level and then slipped off the arm. Suboxone, one of the many very utilized medicated assisted therapies, saving many lives. But the thing that is concerning at points in time is that it's marketable to the street. So I put the quarter there just to get an idea of the size of this particular wrapper. And note that this milligram that's on the package, what it's displaying is only one of many different doses that can be given for the medicated assisted therapy. So the colors might change. I know this particular company uses different colors. And then the tab itself is at the bottom, laying on the quarter in the package. Let's see. So this person, do I have to admit this person? Let's see. All right. All right. So this particular slide is going to show a few. of many different ways that, you know, marijuana might be found. It's pretty clean compared because it's for this project. So we're going to bring forth a couple things in the slide, and then we can talk at the whole video picture at the end. So here we look at a couple different things. Tinfoil, again, it gets, you know, pretty creative. You're able to whip up a quick bowl and then, you know, ball it up and throw it away, and it's over. The polyurethane container with some of the dabber wax. There's glass bowls, packaging, things like that, easy writers, zigzags, or the cigar wrappers, blunt wrappers. A lot of the times I find those on the ground, the outside casing, because they're very brilliant colors and a lot of different jazzy flavors. This is just a picture of what is like marijuana and maybe some of the keef that would be shooken or shaked off the actual substance in a grinder, which I can show you later. In this particular picture, there's a lot more seeds, and I say that because sometimes different items in the midst of drug use is trophied or collected. There'll be a whole container of seeds, and that would be pretty valuable this time of day because they're not as found as regularly. But the wrappers or the elastics or cottons, they're actually collected and trophied like something, like they have something. So this is a grinder. This grinder's in, of course, brand new state, but a grinder is used to break down a substance so it's able to be utilized either in a bowl, a bong, rolling a joint, or blunt like that. And these are, I have some I'll show you later, also usually pretty attractive or alluring in regards to something someone would want to buy in at eye level at a convenience store. And in this slide, I really thought it important just to, you know, we know that people's children, parents, guardians, and loved ones are aware of so much, and things slip by and it gets concerning. This, you know, this is a way that drugs were being transported into a school system. So I don't even know some days on the creativity and the loss of energy when redirected in a path of recovery is found with some of the most brilliant people we experience. So the Tootsie Roll, having a pill pressed into it and then rewrapped, but using the packaging, in this case, of Skittles and M&Ms, very inconspicuous to a backpack or even in someone's hand in the hallway if it would be a handoff. So looking at this picture, it, you know, it causes concern, and now everything becomes suspect. In this picture, it posts as cocaine, but take into consideration this day and age, that could be fentanyl, that could be a bath salt, it could be flakka, it could be a cut up pill, it could be heroin. So a lot of different things can be when you're seeing a substance cut up on a mirror. I'm going to show you later this magazine just so you'll get a better understanding of what I was trying to share. But the corners of this magazine are cut out, and they're utilized to create packages. In this photo, you're looking at the outside part of a straw. A lot of times people find either the inside of or an outside of the straw, and they're just like, where's the other part? What was happening? It could be getting utilized to either put in your mouth and to smoke an item off the tin foil from the first slide. So your hand's free, the tin foil is in your hand, and the lighter or light or match or flame is in your other hand, and this would be in your mouth to smoke the smoke off or the burn. But in this case, it would be utilized to snort the powdered substance off the mirror. Cut up straws or dollar bills, those can also be utilized. And other than a mirror, a lot of the time went out clubbing or even in the home trying to get away with some time in the bathroom, the back of a toilet seat cover or the back of a sink, that porcelain can be utilized to take care of this, like the mirror is being utilized here. And the razor blade, I think this is a duplicated thought. I want to say in the back, there's two different bottles. One is inositol and the other one is lactose. Just random products that are some of many that can be used to add to the product, add to the drug, expand the profit, and so those bottles in themselves would be the concern. Like, why would you even have that? So if you found it in a garbage pail or in a backpack or something like that, certain powdery substances are used that are just not normal day-to-day items. So that would be a concern. And in the magazine, if you looked in the bottom right corner here, you'll see that was utilizing those magazine covers to make their own bundle for a quick sell. It's not utilized as regularly for any of the powdery substances anymore. It's for a quick sell because it is absorbent, and sometimes these drugs have like an oily base to them, and they can actually break down within the paper. I put this in because it's just another way that we're able to take into consideration that this behavior is addicting, and a lot of the times it is coexisting with substance use, or more importantly, once a substance is put down and someone may find recovery, they may transfer their addiction onto a behavior more like gambling. So these are just some of the things that I take into consideration. And this slide, I don't know that you can see it in its entirety, but I refer to chum. And if you're in a car, a lot of the times people don't want you to know that you're scratching tickets off, you know, as a level of habit. So the scratching of the ticket creates this residual. And depending if you're left-handed or right-handed, there will be a compiled amount of this stuff on the floor. So it would actually be concerning if someone was using your car, or it was your own spouse or loved one. You may see the residual of a scratch ticket, let alone the programs, dice, the small pencils, different things like that. But the history on a computer is another thing that you're able to check that might bring some light to a concern. Here's a business I never even knew was a business until I personally got around my own recovery, which I didn't state in the beginning. July 13th, 1995, I found recovery for myself. So this year I celebrated 25 years. And clean urine, and when I say clean urine, I mean urine that does not have a substance in it that may be getting checked for. So if someone is on an MAT, they need to test positive for an MAT. So if they're on task with a program, they might store some of their urine if they had intentions of going off task, and then they will not be testing positive at a clinic or by a doctor, or through the time a parent might be pulling them aside and wanting to test them. So urine being found in any of these states, it's possible, sometimes baggies. There's a variety of creative ways to move urine. It's an unfortunate thing that it is its own market, but knowing that it is and the potential is there is really important. Drug tests and detox products also, not all of them work well, but in this case, this drug test is one of a dip test. And then the detox product, something that I'll show you some different stuff later, is available. You know, sometimes people have to do a job, a urine test for a job, or they have to know that they're coming home and they took something not to be tested positive by their parents. They can do this on their own and have it clear up before they're tested. And that would be a concern. Finding the drug test, or finding the wrapper of the drug test, or finding the plastic cup or the dip test. This, I mean, I've seen some of the craziest stuff when I was trying to put this project together. It was 7 years in the making. This is called monkey urine, synthetic urine, powdered. I can't say I tested it. I've had some folks that I know be, you know, their medical marijuana in their life, and I've been able to ask them to, you know, take some of the tests that I need to have things, you know, worked out and see how available or how beneficial it could be in the market, and then I can use it in the project. So this one I did not test, but I did find it as a marketable item. The body warmers, this is one of the little investigations I had to do. A parent found a body warmer and sent me a picture. It happens pretty regularly, and it wasn't this kind because this has an adhesive back to it. It's one of the bag warmers that you would keep in your hand. So when I was able to finally figure out what it was, I asked the parent if it was something they found in, like a ski bag or in a snow jacket. I was hoping this person had just come back from the ski lodge or something, but they did not. So the body warmer was to help to maintain the temperature of the urine that they had, and they were going to utilize it when they got tested. Most drug test cups, the urine cups, they have a temperature sensitive strip on them. So you should be hitting a particular temperature, and this is an aid in doing that. So looking at this, it's its own ball game right here, its own business. The body warmer in the adhesive format, you can, stick it to your leg and it would be taking care of the temperature of the urine that may be in your pocket. And then we're moving on to another very concerning devices, products, substances, and a multitude of ways of, ingesting them. First of all, there's the smokeless tobaccos and things that you don't see as regularly or as often with the snuffs or the chew. And then there's cigarettes themselves, which in transport, there's that front foil where you're always able to slip a package in, or in the back foil. Again, that's another place to slip a package or drop a pill at the bottom of the case if necessary. I'm not singing to the choir when it comes to like seeing things on the media or in movies, but the Parliament cigarettes, I knew in clubbing days this was something utilized to bump a powdered drug off of, because of the filter itself is hollowed out. But looking for paraphernalia and residuals, looking at cigarettes and the chew or the snuff. Chew, you usually got to spit, so you're going to find some kind of disgusting puddle of this or a bottle with it in there. And then the outside wrappers to cigarettes, some of them have the gold foil and the plastic, or sometimes the actual tobacco at the bottom of a pocketbook. And then these other devices we'll talk a little bit more about. Probably should have brought that up first, but you get an idea of what I was just talking about with the smokeless products, and possibly never heard of the Parliament, and these are the most popular cigarette brands I utilized. Here we got some of the e-vape pens, liquid products, the polyurethane container, the small metal tools that go along with any of the dabs and the oils, because they're very sticky, and needing to put them into a pen or in a solution that would break it down, making it more of a liquid to put into a canister device or one of these. I'll show you later. I have these here with me to show you the differences in the variety of products and how we can, show residual paraphernalia and the caps in the device that a lot of people hear, USB port, so the chargers and the different kinds of cartridges that are used. And now that smoking cigarettes is the age of 21, if this is being found in high schools, let alone at home and underage, it's even that much more concerning. I think the most concerning, though, is trying to make your own oils and smoking your own oils, which is really with some products that are not, they should not be vaporized and put into your lungs. So there's some concerns with that. So looking at this in its entirety, I will be able to show some of these products to you at the end. This is a breaker with for whippets. Those are cartridges used for industrial style whipped cream bottles for restaurants and things. You would put the cartridge in, pop it, put a balloon on it, and then back it off, fill the balloon with the nitrous oxide, and then inhale it. I have that to show you. So this is crack, another form of cocaine, and this would be some of the chore boy that may be visible if you were in a home. It breaks down once it's burned, so little pieces of sparkle. It becomes the filter in a crack pipe. And that glass rose, rose pipe, or whatever. There's a couple different names for it. I would see the flower as the residual within the pipe gets taken out, and that could be found and considered as a red flag. These are used for nothing else that I'm aware of other than that. So this is, it could be crystal meth as well, but the pipe would be a little different. It would be bulbed on the end. I did not have that for this picture at that time. Inhalants. There's more than 1,400 different products that can be inhaled. And as I've said before, if you're going to hug your kid, take a sniff, because some of these products are pretty aromatic, and you know, and it's a concern. Sometimes the sleeves, cuffs, collars of clothes can be hardened if they're being soaked and then used as in public. Yeah, baggies and things can be found with a piece of cloth. And of course, the warning labels in some of these products just make it the challenge that, you know, oh, good, I scored something because of how it's documented on the back. DM Max products, the dextromethorphan. So in here, I see a lot of the residuals and paraphernalia being the push packs when it's in the pill format, or even the squeezed out pill that could be used in it as a shot. The actual Mucinex DM Max or Robitussin, and I'm not busting any particular company or anything, but it's the product with the Max that has the dextromethorphan at its highest level, which for an adult on one of these bottles, a serving is 25 milligrams. And I found that the Dulcim, the children's version with a little kid in the bottom of a little bunch of grapes, that cough medicine is actually 30 milligrams of the dextromethorphan in it. And a lot of times it's mixed and sipped over the course of a night. Sometimes there's alcohol added to it. Sometimes it's mixed in with the energy drinks. So it's quite euphoric. And if it's consumed in its entirety, it's dissociative. So it has a concerning outcome in that regard. Again, the blister packs or push packs, different products come this way. They're still just as potent. These are combinations. If the clear soda isn't clear, that's definitely a reason to check into it. And then the 5-hour energy drinks, them in themselves in their own right are concerning. Young folks, anybody, adult, drinking these on a regular basis or combining them with other substances is not healthy at all. And Sudafed, pseudoephedrine is one of the components when you're making crystal meth, but on its own, it actually has like a speedy effect. So it's one of the items that you would have to actually get from behind the pharmacy counter. And I added these things in because these are some of the over-counter medications that someone might be looking to get because of withdrawal symptoms of opioid use disorder. So we look at the Dramamine, that would be for like nausea. It helps. And then the Imodium in the pill pack, and then the liquid. Imodium helps with the diarrhea and sometimes vomiting, but it has been told that Imodium is seen as a poor man's methadone. So it is some kind of an attachment on the receptor that gives a little bit extra relief to the withdrawal symptom. And the Benadryl, the runny nose and the itchy eyes, it helps with that. The Pedialyte is a replacement. A lot of times Gatorade's used to a lot of diarrhea and vomiting, trying to hydrate your body. And then NyQuil when you can't sleep. Chugging that down would try to aid in that. And going forward, these are just the detox product to the left is just another, you can get that at like a vitamin store or a drug store, trying to clean your urine so you have a negative test. And in this case, the Gatorade, if you were to top off some of that Gatorade, dump that whole pack of Certa in it, drink a bottle of water, you would first urinate. Then you drink another bottle of water, you take a couple B12, urinate one more time. The third urine would be a negative drug test for sure. And the B12 would help aid color back into your urine. So if you were to have to provide a urine sample, it wouldn't be completely clear, which would be a red flag in itself. Benzodrex, it's just an over-the-counter medication for nasal decongestant. It does not flag at a pharmacy, and it has propylhexadrine in it, which mirrors a lot of the effects of crystal meth. So this is called eaten cotton. The residual of this would be the packaging or the plastic outside of container. And then the cotton would get cut and eaten in sections, but that landed up, I found, to be, not personally, but binding. So they started soaking it out. The propylhexadrine is the active ingredient, and it's very scary, the side effects, if you were to look it up. These are the front and back of the Paraphernalia project's boards. They're 24 by 36. It gives you information on how the project was created and why, and my education. And then that 8.5 by 11 laminate card that tells you a little bit more about each of the pictures. I have that here. That's the card that's laminated in the pocket on the back of the board and giving you some street language and some idea of what's in the photograph on the board in the front. Along with this project, there are 24 separate vignettes that you can put together for your own uses for a series or a project, one-on-one, however someone might be able to utilize this project. And then crediting Lindsay Soprinet, Bernie Staggers, Kathleen Callahan, and Karen Tracy for really, over the years, tolerating me and my persistence in getting this project completed, and just their expertise in the areas in which they serve to create this project and make it a reality. So Tri-Circle Restoration is supported by the support groups, Hope and Support Groups of Tri-Circle Inc., which is a nonprofit offering 7 Hope and Support Groups every month at this point in time. Meetings are an hour and a half long, and they're co-facilitated. One person is licensed, the other person is a paraprofessional. And these meetings were face-to-face in 5 towns, but since March 26th, they've all been converted to Zoom. Information on how to get to me are on these documents, which are also on Facebook and our website. We have posters and brochures, different ways to get the information. And then again, since the coronavirus, we were able to switch it all to Zoom. And you need to request an invite. It's not something that we publicly post. You would, for this particular meeting, you would be emailing me. This is one of the brochures that better talks about what happens at Hope and Support Groups and how it's a safe environment. But we also make available 12-panel drug tests for only $5, alcohol strips for $1. I always make sure that we have Narcan available. And under these new circumstances, people know that I have it, and all they have to do is request it. We also have the, supported by different towns, we have the medication disposal bags as well. We are located in Middlefield, and I want to let you know that I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share these 2 organizations briefly and only in part. All right, and here I am. I know I only have a few minutes left, so I want to be able to share with you. This goes to 7:15, unless I'm told otherwise that I have extra time. I wanted to show you some of the items that were in this project. And the boards aren't behind me, so you can see that. I've kind of like staged my office. I'll try to rifle through as much as I can. What wasn't in the video, but I definitely want you to know is available as part of a demonstration. There's glass top boxes. Each box is specific to a substance. So this particular box is specific to heroin and IV use drugs. So you're actually able to see some of the things that I was able to put into these PowerPoint presentation. And I've acquired these over the time and the work that I had done. So this one is more specific to marijuana and some of the residuals. Taking a look too in this particular box, and it was in the picture, kratom is another substance that's usually or thought of, I should say, as having some support in the withdrawal symptoms of from an opioid use disorder. They find it to be relieving, but known to have a stimulant and a euphoric effect. This particular board is, it's harder to turn this one sideways. This box, glass top box, is more specific to cocaine. And in here also are some of the residuals of the DM Max products, the dextromethorphan that was in and you can see the writing on the packaging that supports it, but also the Benzodrex, which had the propylhexadrine in it. So the residual of that packaging, you know, I'm always curious when I go to the pharmacy to check that out, and I always make alert a pharmacist. They might not even be aware that it's there, and it does not flag at a pharmacy. And this box here, just so you can see it, is all the variety of different usages of crack pipes, broken and otherwise, but also the burned filters, which is interesting, the Chorboy, and some of the devices used to clean them or push out. I can't tell you how much stuff is here. I can tell you it's not all here. And something I see is the tampons. These are another thing that is concerning for transport. They are in this box, which is like basically saying, I am a container for you to hide things in. So that's good. But when it comes to your house, if your child or loved one has ordered it, it comes in a yellow envelope. And this particular envelope said it was a sports company, so a sports product. So you're able, you know, you can fill these up with pills. This is actually not leaked. This is water, so it could be alcohol. This is full 10 separate packages. Actually, they are the plastic baggies filled with powder. And then this one, just to see what I'm speaking about, this is all marijuana-like, I'll say that, so I don't get in trouble. The Chorboy, if nobody actually knew what it was when I said it, it's that copper scrubber. This I bought, and not here, and not do I have it with me, the small baggie. I went into a convenience store, asked for Chorboy, and they pulled a little piece off, stuck it in a bag, and sold it to me for $1. And that was in the process of me collecting stuff for this project. And when I bought that Chorboy, they also asked me if I needed glass with that, and then I was handed that stem with the flower in it. This company, 710, was new to me, but as we have the wax, dab, shatter, things like that, and oils, certain pens can handle liquids, but they have to be at a certain consistency. So in that box of 710, you have a vial of liquid that would be poured into here with your substance. You would put it in there with your metal device because it's sticky. And then you would mix it up and liquefy it to a consistency that you can draw it up in this plastic syringe-like device, and then put it inside of the burner, or I should say the pen that is specifically made for liquid devices. I mean, liquid substances. There's other devices that I have. This is just for dry device, for marijuana, straight up dry, but K2, kratom, those are other things that could be utilized. And again, like remember I said, things are trophied. A lot of the times these are seeds or you know, rubber bands or things like that. And then I really want, in these last few minutes, I have to pick and choose here, are some of the stash containers that are right in people's face. Okay, so this is a Pepsi bottle, liquid on both ends, not a problem. The better the container, the more expensive it is. So then it's empty and hollowed out. We have about 7 different ones here. They're weighted, so they're, you know, they could be right in a backpack, right in a room. You wouldn't know it. Coca-Cola. I consider this a complete waste of energy. It should be illegal to even do this. But this is an Arizona tea. This one could go right in your car. This is wheel cleaner. Wheel cleaner. How about them? Even an officer, unless they had a canine, wouldn't be able to know the difference. These are exactly the same. This is actually mine. So this is actually hairspray. So this is like, let's see, this hairspray. Yep. This one, not so much, but identical in every way, shape, and form, except there's a hollowed out inside and a removable bottom. So those are some of those items. And over on the table, I do have like some of the inhalant products. And when I think about that, the flags that you're able to do, huffing, inhaling, bagging, however it be called, there's usually a residual or something left behind. So again, if you're going to hug your loved one, it's definitely a way that you're able to, you know, find out that something's going on. This was the Delsum product, having 30 milligrams in one dose is the child's bottle, not the adult bottle. And then the warmers and all of that. So I'm feeling like I got it right to the end. I know I do have other items. And the last but not least, I will show you what is considered the blanks. So you're able to buy the blanks for the, what do they call the jewel. So these are empty. You fill these yourselves. So that's where that 710 comes in handy. If you were to have the liquid component for a product, wax, dab, shatter. The jewel devices, again, it's the cap and the empty cartridge is what I would call as a paraphernalia residual, or the push pack that you would find it in. This is an actual jewel. They're very slim and streamlined. There's some other ones too, the teardrop, but this is what a lot of people see are the chargers, and they call them the USB products. So this is the charger. It goes right inside your computer, and it's magnetic to your actual device. These are easily brought into school, and they are able to like blow it into their armpit or something like that. And I think I said that was last, but I'll do this one. Paper towel roll, toilet paper roll. They're both stuffed with dryer sheets. You're able to exhale a burned substance. So I'm assuming if it wasn't like a pill or something that burned off a foil, it would be marijuana. But also another creative way to make a pipe for marijuana. So I'm going to say that is it for me. I think Shannon's here, so she can come back in or come back on and tell me if there's any questions or concerns or anything you need direction with. I hope I took it right to the limit. I'm that girl. And someday maybe see you out in the world. I can show you the rest of the project, the rest of the glass top boxes, and many more containers of items that are not here in my office at this point. Thank you.